Hey, welcome to another episode of Behind the Bar podcast, brought to you from the coaches and clients of RT Fitness Durham, Sunderland, and of course the Barbell Club, where we take you from complete beginner to photo shoot ready. If you want any information on this, our link is in the description below, so give it a click. So on today's show, we have coach of 8 years, Dan. This is the first one we've done. Our timetables have been all over the place trying to get him on, but I've been dying to get him on. On this one, Luke wasn't available to do the recording, so it's a bit all over the place because I had to keep running back with the forward to the camera. But hey, there's still some great content in there, great insights with Dan. There is going to be a part 2 of this because it had to end because I'm useless with the camera. Only had an 8 gig memory card, but yeah, it's all good. Enjoy it.
Hello. Who is Coach Dan?
So I'm Dan. I've been at RT Fitness for 8 years, which is fucking mental, isn't it?
I know.
I coach the 6 and 7 o'clock barbell and the 9:15 carnage.
So how old were you when you first started?
20 would have been, yes, it would have been September, October 2014.
So just turned 20?
Just turned 20, because then I had to be 21st here afterwards.
Oh, that was only a year later.
Song and all that.
Yeah. Oh, that was good, that actually, wasn't it?
Tell you what's mad actually when you think over that year, how much busier it actually got.
Yeah.
Because that was like that. There's a good group of early morning 6:15ers on cards, wasn't it? Like when for your birthday. But if you think from where it was in the January,
because that was the thing when you first started here. You started here. You asked to start here.
Yes. It was work experience.
Yeah.
Again, mad. But I suppose is how many people do it. It's probably the best thing you can actually do.
Yeah, Tommy did
realistically, when you start studying, you aren't really actually good for anything. In a sense of you're just starting out. So the only really thing you can offer anyone is your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Up until you sort of learn how to do anything.
I'm trying to instill that in Jake at the minute. It's like he's got all these opportunities in the world, and if there's something what he's actually passionate about, I'm saying, Jake, just offer your services for free. And if you've got that experience behind you, it's straight away experience on your CV.
But as well, it's most people, they aren't going to take the piss out of you. In a sense of like, if you go and help someone, do you know what I mean? It's more than likely it's going to turn into something more than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone's not just going to have you turn up forever and just help them for free. Like, chances are it's going to evolve into more of a role.
Yeah.
So why not?
Do you think everyone should do that?
Definitely. Actually, it's quite funny. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. It was the DeFranco one. It was on about what he would do to revolutionise the fitness industry.
Right.
And he went through his things of it should be like a degree, this, that, the other. But part of it was an internship. Yeah. So the first month you should be there, picking up weights, cleaning floors, right up, just basically being a dog's body. Yeah. Just be in that environment. Yeah. Because everyone now expects to start and they want to be spotting people, programming for people, doing nutrition and coaching. It's like...
Or being an online coach.
Well, that doesn't require any qualifications, does it? It requires being pretty and having a camera.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But fucking hell, I agree with you 100%, but I think it should be within any industry, in fairness. Especially if it's something you want to be in.
Well, it's that thing. I mean, a lot of employers now go down the apprenticeship route rather than degrees in college, and I totally understand why, because you're getting 4 years of hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Things like any trades, electricians, sparkies, joiners, that type of thing, you're having to serve an apprenticeship, you're having to serve a period of working underneath someone who's actually doing the job. If you just going and doing theoretical studies, how are you ever going to learn how to do the job?
Yep.
You can read about coaching as much as you want, but that doesn't translate into actually putting someone through a session.
Or it's on the spot, isn't it? If someone says, I can't do this.
Of course, it's having the knowledge to actually be able to, do this instead or do that, but it has to be seamless. Do you mean you can't be stood around going,
just don't do anything. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's an advanced thing. Do you know what I mean? It's not a simple. People think it's a simple job. It's not a simple job. You think if you've got someone squat with 100 kg on the back, that's probably the riskiest thing most people do in their lives.
Yeah.
Do you know in terms of chance of injury for most people, they aren't working dangerous jobs. It's not a, it's something you should.
Their lives, really.
It's something you should be experienced in. It's one of the few jobs where, yes, you can make people's lives better, but you could also fuck them up.
Oh, fucking
Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
think of like how many pregnant people have had,
Yeah.
and like guiding them through that period and knowing how to do that and having the experience to do that. If you make a mistake, there's no going back.
I know.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's people underestimate like how much of a respected job coaching should be. In the qualifications, the entry criteria should back that up and reflect that.
Right.
You know, it's just, you wouldn't get someone going, like, in any other situation where you're in charge of people's health and body, you wouldn't just go and do a 12-week course and all of a sudden you're a trainer. Like, all of a sudden.
But that's what they expect.
Well, that's what it is now, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? It should be a respected field.
Well, I mean, I think I told you over the last couple of years where I've actually getting texts from newly qualified PTs, have you got a job?
Yeah. Not can I come and help, can I come and shadow, can I come and learn from you?
I'm
and your
recently
coaches?
qualified
Basically give us a job.
with an emoji on the end. Do you know what I mean? It's
It
fucking...
is, it's just strange. The thing is, if you think of personal training, it costs a premium.
Yeah.
It's along the same lines as things if you're going to a physiotherapist or a sports massage or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, in all of those things, the bar's quite high.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
to get it,
Yeah.
to become that thing, it's a high bar, the entry criteria. You can't just rock up and do it. Yet, personal trainers should be offering a service of that standard.
Yeah.
Probably even more so, dare I say, because there's a lot more that goes into it.
It's
And
not
yet-
just
and
inside
yet
the
you-
session,
yeah,
is it?
And yet you can just turn up and do it. it should, like, I think a degree, at least
Right.
a foundation degree should be some level.
Or the apprenticeship,
Yeah, or an apprenticeship
Yeah.
in which you're working under
which unfortunately they've stopped.
qualified coaches. Yeah, which is fantastic, really.
You sort of did it. Well, I mean, I know you did your qualifications,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then
Well,
you,
it was sort of an internship. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think from October till the January, I was just sort of helping out.
Yeah.
Then from the January, it was slowly taking over the carnage, and then
Yeah, because that's when we restarted
yes,
it.
and then that built up, and then eventually it was helping you out in the barbell, and
Yeah.
then, do you know what I mean? So it was a nice gradual process
Progression,
of
yeah,
learning.
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? And at the time, dare I say it, I was probably already had a relatively good base. Probably better than
Yeah.
what, I would argue, better than what a lot of people become trainers with.
Yeah.
But yet, I was still willing to put the groundwork in, and I still needed to.
Well, you took me, was it me and Tom or me and Sarah through a session when you
Yes,
first
so
started?
I first come in, had a bit crack with you, and then the second time I came back and put you through a session.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I was already had the skill set,
Yeah.
essentially what most people would consider the skill set, but I probably wasn't even ready to start coaching the barbell for at least 6 months after starting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably longer. Just it's not something that just is what
Crazy,
we do,
man.
Really.
It's yeah, I think we could talk about that one all day. But yeah, I mean,
Kinda.
but it was from.
That
It was actually from when you first started. Then we did because we ran in the open gym then.
Yes.
And it was like a shit business model, really.
Well, for your time it was.
Yeah.
In a sense of like, you're realistically, you're only going to get people on a morning, people on a night.
Yeah.
And then all day you're kind of just sitting
I was
on-
fucking sat here at a desk. It was absolutely shit. But
Yeah, I fucking hated being here. Like, same, it's just fucking
yeah, it's not
no good for anyone.
No,
It's
not
just
at all.
not.
But it had to be done to obviously to where we are now. Because I mean that took us. The crazy thing was obviously you weren't here when we did the boot camp on the field, but then went from there to opening a gym and then not doing them anymore. I took away
Yeah.
what I was doing, what was working, and thought, I'll just open a gym and everything works.
That's business, isn't it?
I know.
It's like any business is just a series of failures.
It is, which ends up being
Not stopping, like,
Yeah, failures,
Yeah.
which is learning points, isn't it?
it's anything in it.
Right then, Dan. So here's the questions. So it's just the same questions as what we've had from the other Meet the Coaches one. So what do you see as the most unique or special about your...
Well, I think we kind of touched on it before in a sense of like, there's not many things where you can have a positive impact on people. Do you know what I mean? You can genuinely change the trajectory of someone's life.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, physically, once you get into your 20s, it's almost all downhill. For most people,
Just in the
physically,
20s.
well, like mid-20s to 30s, if you think
Yeah.
most young lads, you're doing PE, you're doing sport, you may be playing football.
Walking
you
to school.
You get a more responsible job, you get a partner, you're going out more, you have kids. Like, do you know what I mean? And then into your 30s, you get more responsibilities. Most people probably hit the physical peak in the early 20s.
Right.
And then you're going downhill. Do you know what I mean? It's changing that trajectory. It's allowing people to continue to push themselves and to make themselves better for as long as they keep doing it, really.
But they don't.
Well, that is, well, ours do. What I'm saying is, like,
Yeah.
if once you get people and they do stick at it, then great, do you know what I mean? But it's that commitment of, well, once you start, you don't just stop. So you kind of just, once you start doing something, whatever that be, you've just got to keep it going. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're just going to go back to where you were. But yeah, I think that is the unique thing. It's like there's not many jobs in which you can improve people's lives and quality of lives.
Yeah.
Long term.
Because it's not like, say, I know obviously a doctor must be rewarding and stuff like that, but they are generally putting a bandage on the wound with medication and stuff like that. But it's all good advice.
Oh,
like, I fucking love NHS, love doctors, all the rest of it. But we can actually get them moving, which the doctors will tell them, yes, get moving, but they're just like...
We get to do all the fun stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, we don't have to deal with the awful side, the illnesses, the stuff that doctors have to do, thankfully. But also, we get to do the fun stuff. We get to make people more active. We get to see the progression in the improvements, which is fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I suppose if you're telling someone, look, in order to improve your health and lifestyle, you need to go and do this, this, and this. You don't really get to follow through with that or help them follow through with it. We actually get to spend enough time with people to take them through that change and actually see the progress in people, which you don't get that in most things.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, do you feel as though like you can sort of reset someone, in a sense?
Definitely. I don't think a lot of people realise how dysfunctional their lives are.
Yeah.
In a sense of, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way, it's so easy to sort of sound high and mighty in fact, in like that sense. Like, I enjoy socialising, I enjoy going out for a drink, all that type of thing, but there's a line, and so many people are so far over the line that don't realise how much it's negatively affecting their life in the long term.
Right.
And I think starting to train and come to the gym creates balance, which is necessary.
Yeah, it is necessary. Like, I mean, I'll go off, well, not following the structure of the ceremony. Going off the, I lost my train of thought there. Following structure. Where was I at before that, Dan?
We were on about...
Thing is, I'm waiting for a call for deliveries. Well, I will get back to the structure of the questions from there, Dan.
At least the cuts are short. Made us move on to the next question.
I know. I had something, it will come back to us. What advice, I mean, you probably touched on this before, actually, so what advice would you give to someone just starting out within our industry?
Be generous with your time. Because at the minute, your time isn't worth anything to anyone. So give it up for free. Do you know what I mean? Help people out. Use, all you can offer is time, so use it and learn.
Right.
Because that's the only way you're ever going to be able to develop. Like, most people go into training for the complete wrong reasons.
What, going into being a trainer?
The complete wrong reasons, in a sense, like they just enjoy training. Normally, it's a moment in their life. It's a moment in time. I think the average time for a personal trainer is like 3 to 5 years or something. I think it used to be 5 years.
Right, okay.
I'm going to guess that it's probably reduced significantly since then with the advent of like people just popping up on Instagram for a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're going in for the wrong reason. They're going in because they like training.
Right.
There's probably an element of narcissism in there, in the sense of like they want to be able to market how they look. So look at me.
Yeah.
They think it's going to make them a lot of money, which for the vast majority of people ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in life, it should be for the right reasons.
Right.
And the right reasons for wanting to be a coach are you wanting to help people and you wanting to help them improve. And that's not sort of an ideology. It's just, depending on what you're going into, you're only ever going to get certain things out of it. And if you go into it with the wrong mentality of thinking I'm going to be the next Instagram influencer with 1 billion followers, you're going to fail and you're going to be disappointed. Go in for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing in life, do it for the right reasons.
So do you think these people who, I mean, they clearly do, don't they? The people with the great physiques just think it's going to come to them.
You know what it is? It's that thing of good athletes very, very rarely make good coaches.
Yeah.
And it's the same with training. Because if you are naturally predisposed to being in shape, so you're an ectomorph, you've always been relatively in shape, the lifestyle you've lived, the way you've grown up, the sort of culture of your family, all these things that realistically we don't have any control of. It's how you brought up before you're even aware. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's the things you fed as a child, it's the way you behave, the way your parents behave, it's the way the people around you behave. They are what shapes a person into whether they're going to be a fit and healthy person or an overweight, inactive person.
Yeah.
And if you're already that fit, healthy person, you don't realistically understand 100% why you're that fit, healthy person. You just always have been.
Yeah.
How can you sympathise with someone who's on the total other end of the spectrum if you've never been there? And it's the same with superstar athletes. Like, the reason good athletes don't make good coaches because they get frustrated because they can't understand why the person that they're asking to do something can't do what they can do and what they've always been able to do.
Right. Okay.
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone who's exceptionally good at something tries to teach someone who's terrible at it how to do something, they're going to get frustrated because they aren't going to understand why can't you do what I can do.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's and like I said, it's almost that blame thing. And again, I hate they don't want it enough. It's just laziness. It's not. Most people want it a lot.
Coaching.
They just don't currently have the skills to do what they need to do. And it's about building that skill set. And I suppose the same applies for a coach. If you want to be a coach, build your skill set. Get the tools. And then you'll actually be more capable of helping people. With a client, create the means to be able to make that change, which isn't always just going to come with them.
Fucking yay. It is. So, this one, what's the strangest or funniest thing you've seen happen within the last 8 years of being here, basically?
That I can actually say.
Go for it.
No.
Oh, okay.
I can think of a few, but I'll not repeat them on
Right.
camera. Is
it all the women pissing themselves? Or worse?
Not worse, but just more specific. Yeah, I think that 615 Warriors.
Right.
We'll talk about a baptism of fire for coaching.
Yeah.
Get any young lad and stick them in there and they'll learn. Nothing will ever faze them. It was, yeah. I mean, I laugh because sometimes we 9 girls that try to embarrass us.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I've heard every single thing you could possibly hear.
Yeah.
Nothing you see is going to surprise me.
So a little context. Context?
Yes.
Yeah, context. 2-3 years ago, age range was, I suppose Lumley was the younger one out the lot, but she was late 20s. Yeah, so it was more like 40 to 50s, wasn't it? Yeah, 40. It was 40 to 50, really.
All women in the crack was on the edge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See, I learned a few things.
It's like people go on about blow crack, but it was like that plus.
Yeah.
It was all good though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was
that's
great.
the thing.
It was a great group of lasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the things that they used to come out with, just unbelievable.
But do you know, is it?
Just the crack in general. All the crack's good in the classes.
It is.
You know what it is? I know I've spoke about it before, but I feel like people get lost in the sense of you get so stuck in family life, work life. People don't go out and socialise in the way they used to.
Yeah.
And it's just to be amongst a group of people with similar interests and just laugh and pull the piss out of each other and just have a crack is such a mentally healthy thing to have in your life that so many people don't get.
Yeah, it is.
Because unless you go to the pub with your mate or go out, which obviously comes with all sorts of other things, when else do you get that sort of time to have the crack?
It's one of the things why I keep pushing people, whenever people are missing sessions, it's like, this is your time.
Yeah, well, I put a post on Instagram last night saying, when you miss a session, it was actually a conversation with Hope because she was twisting, saying, the sessions are getting, quieter and quieter
Yeah.
gym sessions because it's closer to Christmas, and it spoils the sessions for other people. Like, nobody enjoys training in a dead class.
No.
Like, you want the atmosphere, you want other people to bounce off, and by you not attending your session, you're ruining their session.
Yeah.
And it's just shit, really, isn't it?
It,
It's
I
supposed
mean,
to be in it
yeah.
together.
I mean, I always like, I would say like, especially Carnage, at least 10.
Yeah, aye. For
Do you know
the
what I
crack
mean?
and for a good little group. Yeah.
But this time of year, like, the numbers do die down. We know that.
Of
It's
course. The thing is, I get it. People are here, there, and everywhere, but
it is a
how
busy
many
month,
crap
yeah.
excuses do you get as well?
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? It's like, it's cold, it's miserable, no one wants to de-ice the car at 5 o'clock in the morning to come to the gym, but
It is what it is.
choice. It's like, you're going to be eating more this month than any other month. You're going to be drinking more this month than any other month. So do you really think it's the time to now reduce your activity levels down to next to nothing?
Just that nice warm couch is more
And then
appealing, isn't it?
Most people, unless you've really hammered it over the course of the year, say you've lost a stone, probably going to put it back on by January,
Oh, yeah.
just because of that's 1 month.
Yeah.
So 11 months to lose it. If you've just been kind of ticking over like most people do,
Yeah.
4 weeks to put it back on. If you start the year in the exact same place as last year, lose the same stone again.
Well, it's like I always repeat this study. I can't remember the study. It was years ago. I think I just make it up now. But literally, so it's like, say you gain 10 pounds over the winter.
Yes.
Yeah, and then across the year, you lose 8. And then you gain 10 across the winter
Yeah, so
again.
always.
So 10 winters time, you're 20 pounds heavier than when you started. And it's all because of these winter months. And it's like, I do the same email, I do the same posts every single year.
And everyone does it.
And everyone does it, yeah.
Again, it goes down to that thing, like, I know it's, people don't like hearing it, but like I said, from 2030s, most people are on downward trajectory. The weight's going up and up and up and up, and most people are going to be heavier at 40 than they were at 30, heavier at 50 than they were at 40. And yes, your metabolism slows down, but how, not to the extent that it justifies just constantly letting yourself get worse. You know what it is? It's one of the biggest things that motivates me.
What of getting worse?
I hate the thought of getting worse.
Right.
Like, I hate the thought of becoming like less and less capable. Like, I think it's awful. Like when you see old men, you think like, you talk like old men like in the army and stuff, and like they're a shell. And like, I hate it. Like, I find the most terrifying thing that eventually everyone reduces down to almost nothing. Like, do you know what I mean?
But it's your habit. This is your habits now, though, isn't it? Like, it's your habits of like you're in this zone. You were like say training 3-4 times a week, whatever it is. Like, do you know what I mean? You could probably never see yourself not doing that now.
Oh, definitely. It's that thing. It's like, I hate the idea of it.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of like letting myself get away, like drift away. And like,
Probably happens at retirement age.
So many people just let go of themselves.
Yeah.
I think like lads in the 30s, 40s, like once kids and family, and yes, it's hard, but they just let go of themselves. And it's like, I hate the thought of letting myself just dwindle
Decay.
away. Aye. Like, not being capable, not being fit, not being strong, like, I just hate it.
Well, my goal pretty much every year is to be better than I was the year before.
Yeah, well, and that should never stop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should always be trying to progress in one way or another. And again, it's one of those things people are like, oh, I'm not bothered, it's easy. Like, it's what, do you really want? Do you want to let yourself get worse?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a competitive thing or what, but I just hate the thought of getting worse.
Me too, yeah.
And I think it's like, when you're young, obviously you're growing all the time. Do you know what I mean? You're getting older, getting bigger, developing, and then it kind of just gets to that thing where it's just like a slow slump.
Would you say you're still on your up?
Yes, definitely.
Because I'm 8 years older than you. No,
What?
10 years older than you. Fuck.
Yeah, pretty much exactly 10 years.
I'm 10 years older than you.
Definitely.
But I feel as though like me post. I don't know if you read me posting the group this morning, like where I'm not going to do the shreds, and it's like, but I've been sort of maintaining all year, and I've actually felt something this year,
Like the
where
first
it's like
time.
just where it's been like the oomph isn't there as what it has been,
Yeah.
and it's only been
Well,
now.
I suppose now, like the age you are now, like you'll be at the point where things like natural testosterone levels and stuff do start to slowly dip away. The thing is, it's the depressing thing of being a man, you know what I mean? It's kind of like women are very open about talking about the menopause, but men kind of just ignore the fact that we do go through a little bit
I'm still a Randy fucking
not
Dan.
to that extent. No, but like, do you know what I mean? Like once you get, like, your hormones will slowly start to work against you slightly. And you lose that anger. You lose that, like, that spark. Do you know what I mean? It's that, like.
But some men have never even had that.
Yeah, and I think it's getting less and less as well.
And those people,
it's getting
dipping
less.
faster
You're
as well.
all kind of like, people try to pick me words carefully here. I think men used to be a lot more capable.
Yeah.
Generally, and I think work helped that. Like, you've seen me father, like, he's got 2 knackered knees, but he'll still graft his arse off. Do you know what I mean? He'll still lift as much as I'm lifting at work. Do you know what I mean? He'll not stop. Like,
my dad does overtime all
never,
the
like,
time still.
They don't let. Do you know what I mean? It's like that thing of, like, they're probably still stronger than a lot of lads younger than them. Do you know what I mean? And like fitter and more capable in a sense, because people don't need to be like that for work anymore. Do you know, if you're just sitting in an office chair, you don't need to be strong or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my things. Like, I think every single person should have to do at least 1 week proper work in their life.
Or how about that? What does it increase? Where you've got to do the 2 years in the army?
Or the military service.
Yeah.
Even just a few, just some form of thing to work out. Like, even just to go, like, shit, this isn't what I want to be doing. Like, just to think, this is how
fucking the
like,
factory where I used to work
can actually be. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, the amount of, like, young kids, if anyone ever had, like, summer holidays and gets kids and helping and that, it's like, look, this is why you're sticking. Fucking don't do this.
You can either put them on the sites for a week or in Nissan for a week.
Honestly,
do you know, like, stick them there.
Most people don't have a clue, like, how hard work actually is.
Yeah.
And the mad thing is, it's like, we don't realise what we're calling hard work, how easy that is compared to what people have actually done in the past.
Oh, wait, whenever I say the cold, it's like, I'm glad I'm indoors.
Do you know what I mean?
You're sort of half and half.
It's a weird thing in the sense of, like, humans are so obscenely capable of doing the ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like, you hear, like, David Goggins, I know he takes it like an extreme, but it's like most humans could physically go out there and do a marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Just could, like, physically, like, obviously the mental would stop, it would be slow as fuck and it would be a miserable experience.
We've got 20 people who walk around Calder.
But you could do it. And it's like, we are capable of things beyond, like, humans can go out and run 100 mile. They can do it, like, that's what this body is capable of. And most people probably don't even tap into 5% of that.
Some people don't even do 3,000 steps.
Do you know what I mean? If you're literally just getting up, sitting in the car, sitting at your desk, getting in the car, sitting on your couch, it's like your body is so physically capable and no one uses it.
You don't even have to sit in the car anymore, work from home.
It's
like fucking laptop from
it's
the
like,
floor.
how often does the average person doing something hard that they really don't want to do? Like, I've made a little thing with myself now that try every day, at least every week, to do something I really don't want to do.
Right.
Like, last Sunday, went for a run in the pissing down rain. I hate running, but I want to make myself do things that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just good for the mind.
You've definitely
just
been
to
reading
force
Goggins.
yourself to do something that's horrible. But he takes it to the next level, but just make yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because you can do it. And when you've done it, you feel fucking great. Like, no one goes and does, like, a physical activity and then comes home and goes, that was awful. I wish I'd never bothered. Wish I'd never done it. You always feel good after doing it.
Like a workout.
It's just, exactly like a workout. It's just getting yourself to do it in the first place.
The only thing you regret's not doing it.
Well,
you never regret doing the workout.
That's the thing. It's
you only regret not doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, do hard things.
Yeah.
Like, make yourself do hard things.
Right. We're going to have to do one more, Dan, because I think I'm going to run out of memory. We'll just go straight to the advice one. What advice would you give someone to live a leaner, healthier lifestyle? If you give the one biggest tip of advice, because obviously you know it all and everything. Activity.
Steps. Just move more. In any capacity, whatever capacity it is, move more.
Yeah.
Because you're never, ever, ever going to be able to eat little enough, consistently enough, to maintain a healthy weight whilst being almost completely sedentary.
Yep.
Just can't be done. Like, literally, like, it's obscene. If you jump on that with the ski erg for 20 minutes, you'll burn 200 calories. How long does it take to eat a Kit Kat? It's, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so, like, the balance of, like, calories is so much to, like, a workout.
To the density.
If you're literally getting up, sit in your car, drive to work, sit in your desk, drive home, even if you go to the gym for 1 hour, how much are you realistically moving in that 1 hour? A day is 24 hours.
Yep.
It's never, ever going to balance the equation. You need to be moving for almost as much time as you're sitting to balance it out.
So how many thousand would you say?
10,000 has got to be the absolute minimum. Absolute minimum.
Exactly.
Like that's
Agree.
like, people think that is a goal. Like that's the goal. Like, oh, I've done me 10,000 steps. Like that's the start. And that's, again, it's not trying to be unrealistic or being a dick. It's just, this is how hard it is to eat so little.
Yeah.
You
can't.
It's just, you can't do it. Like we all like food, and especially the way food is now, it's convenient, it's hypercalorific, it's hyperpalatable. It's just so easy to eat. The thing is, if you think of like someone's life 60 years ago, there's no technology, there was no phones. Food was very limited in the sense of you were sort of limited to like locally produced whole foods. There was no massive international. You were so limited in what you could eat. It was almost hard to eat badly. If you go back, like if you'd want to take away, there might have been fish and chip shops. Yeah. That would probably have been it if we're talking like 40s, 50s. Well, it was probably
once a week.
You know, it was
Fishy
probably
Friday.
Fish and chips on a Friday, the Sunday dinner on the Sunday, but there was no pizza shops.
Yeah.
Back then, you probably could not have went and got a meal or found a meal that was like 2,000 or 3,000 calories. Now you walk along to Domino's and it's yours for a
Don't even have to walk.
Well,
don't even have to talk to anybody.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, so you got up, no cars, or the average person didn't have a car, so you'd walk to work.
Even when I was a kid, people's parents
you'd work for like 4 to 6 hours, depending whether you work on an 8 to 12-hour shift. You'd have some lunch, probably just some scabby sandwich. You know what I mean? People they just didn't have the money to be greedy. Work again, finish, might go for a few pints or something on the way home. That's probably what the blokes did, because there was no tellies, there was nothing else. You might went home and messed on your garden, bed. Yeah. Like, do you mean, what else would you do with the time? It was so hard to actually go wrong, in the sense of the options weren't there. Now it's so hard to do it right. The whole world's designed to make you fat. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's everything is, the odds are completely and utterly stacked against you in every which way they could.